I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Love After Lockup After Show. We are watching Bonded and Ghosted. Well, we're talking about Bonded and Ghosted because we already watched this episode. And if you haven't, go watch it and then come back because I'm going to spoil it all for you. If this is your first time watching, then let me introduce myself. My name is Alexis. I'll be your host. And I'm holding it down solo here in the studio, but I have Vito in the booth with me. What's up, Vito?
Hello, everybody. Glad to be back. I'm sure
Yes.
some people see me as a familiar face, but I'm glad to be here. Helping Alexis out.
Yes,
Good
we
to be
love
here.
a good Vito cameo. He is ready to talk about this crazy episode with me, isn't that right?
Absolutely, that is right. I am excited to hear what shenanigans they came up with today on Love After Lockup, Live After
Because
Lockup.
you know it's nothing but shenanigans.
Nah, it's always shenanigans.
We are talking Sheryl and Josh, even though we didn't even see this big Cheryl hit, boo to the producers. We're talking Andrea and Lamar and their battle of Mormon or no Mormon. Tracie is out of jail thanks to her beloved boo Clint. Michael, Sara, and Megan, they just all over the place. Angela is playing Spy Kids with Tony. And Britney is trying to get her kids back. And guess what? We're going to talk about it all right now here on the Love After Lockup After Show. But make sure as you're watching, you like and comment. Subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. And we just want to give a huge thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. And if you're listening, make sure to give us a 5-star rating. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's talk about Sheryl and Josh. Now, we didn't get a lot from them. All we're seeing is Sheryl complain and scream, which we always see Sheryl complain and scream. But this time she's complaining and screaming because Josh's mom hit her.
I want to see this hit.
We aren't going to see the hit. And that is the beef that I have with the producers. Why were you all outside? You have two people who you know don't like each other inside going back and forth, and you are outside with the camera and not inside with the camera.
So they admitted to that. They admitted that they did not have cameras inside.
I don't know. I don't know if they're not allowed to show us footage or if they don't have footage, but all we see is Sheryl come outside screaming, "She hit me," spazzing out. We hear them arguing. We hear a little tap. It didn't sound like a slap. It sounded like maybe a little tap, but there's no hit. We don't see any type of hit. So production, I'm going to need you to be in place at the right times. I'm sure you were already kicking yourself for not being out there. You thought that was a good time to interview Josh. I get it. But you missed a vital moment because now I feel like Sheryl is spazzing out for no reason, and she really could have gotten slapped in the face, and we're never, ever going to know. So Sheryl, if she did get hit, is rightfully spazzing out. You shouldn't be hitting a grown woman, especially when you're arguing about my child. But if she didn't get hit, then she's just being dramatic. And I think that's what Josh thinks happened because Josh mentioned on the episode, he said, "I'm sick of Sheryl always complaining and whining. I'm just getting a little bit tired of it." He's getting tired of her disrespecting his mom. And all I have to say is, Josh, it's been like this, bruh. Like, why out of nowhere you have an issue and you're so irritated with the fact that she's complaining all the time and disrespecting your mother? It's literally been like this since day one. What are you really expecting?
Absolutely. And when you do things like this and expect things to change without actually putting any action forth to it, like, how can you expect that?
Right, exactly.
Like, that kind of stuff makes me personally upset because it's like you can't expect things to change and just be upset about them.
Right.
And without actually putting any action forth in it. He
There
needs to
you
take
go.
responsibility for himself.
Yes, he hit it right on the head. And now they're making plans to move in together. Y'all don't even live together, and y'all have already broken up several times. Y'all are already fighting. All the kids aren't even there yet. They're having an argument about one child. She got 2 other kids that's supposed to be making their way to the house with them. So if you can't even argue without the kids there, you can't even argue when you're not living together, how are you going to be together and expect to not argue?
Dude, those poor kids, honestly. I feel so bad for them having
Me
to deal with their
too.
parents.
Yeah. And that's not even their dad. It's just some random Joe Blow who's now out of jail, who she's just moving in with her kids. They don't even know this man. She barely knows this man. And it's just a mess.
I still think they're going to make a show that's based off of the kids of the Love After Lockup stars. The only thing that I don't think that they'll be able to do is get deals with them because a lot of the kids will probably be like, "No, I don't want my life on TV. That's terrible. That's an awful idea."
Listen, if they didn't already have that idea, Vito, I bet you WeTV is like,
Honestly, I should copyright it.
Yeah, because they already have a similar show. They have Growing Up Hip Hop, which follows, kids of famous rappers and hip hop artists.
Yeah,
so
which we do cover here at AfterBuzz TV.
We
if you're
also
interested
cover
in those,
here at AfterBuzz
just make
TV.
sure to see them on AfterBuzz TV reality channel.
Yes. So I wouldn't put it past WeTV. It actually would be a good idea. They grow up and you see how them basically being ignored by their parents and having all these felons in their house has shaped them into the person that they are today.
Absolutely.
Hey,
They can't
I'd
be
watch
right.
it.
Yeah, I know. I would probably watch it, honestly.
I would for sure watch it. Please do it, WeTV, and give Vito his credit when you do it.
Give me money, WeTV. Give me money. You're welcome.
And I want 10% just because I was here.
Yeah, Alexis is the host. The show wouldn't be happening without her today.
Thank you, Vito. All right, but that's all we really got on Sheryl and Josh. I hope they get it together, but I don't think they're ever going to get it together. I think that they should just throw the relationship away. But, they claim they love each other, so we'll have to see. So let's talk about Andrea and Lamar. Andrea has not been sleeping with Lamar because she's mad at him because he won't move to Utah with her, but he's out there she still won't give him the booty doop. But even though she's not giving him none, they decide to go to a sex store because why not go to a sex store when you're not having sex? Isn't that just a fun-filled trip?
That sounds like it's definitely not filled with arguing, definitely not filled with repressed emotions. I'm sure that's going to be great.
Yeah, he's literally sleeping on the couch, yet y'all are going to get whips and chains and outfits from the sex store.
Did they say why? Is there an actual reason behind them going to this sex store, or are they just going for a fun whatever?
I think they're just let's go out strolling, and he was like, well, we can go in the sex store. I don't know why they went in the sex store. I mean, I think she's getting to the point where maybe she'll, finally let him get in the bed with her and they finally do have sex because he mentioned they haven't had sex in 2 months. So now she's just teasing him.
That sounds like that's not fun at all.
Yeah. I mean, we know they're sexually free and open to doing anything, i.e. she got pregnant in a prison closet. But,
I remember hearing about that story from you guys. It was like, oh!
So obviously they're with all the kinky stuff. So the sex store is nothing as compared to a jail prison.
Is a closet really that kinky? Is being in a jail closet really that kinky?
I
is that
think
what
that's
you're
pretty
into?
Kinky. I don't know if I could do it.
I think it's risky. I don't think it's kinky.
Risky, yeah, more risky than kinky. I guess they didn't have any whips in the closet. It was just.
I guess.
What killed me when she was there, she was like, "We got to do this type of stuff because sex brings you closer to Jesus." And then the next thing she said out of her mouth was, "Is there a dominatrix section?"
Oh my gosh. Is that what she's looking for?
Yes, you went from sex brings you closer to Jesus to looking for the dominatrix section.
I mean, God is a woman, I guess.
That's what Ariana Grande said.
Yeah.
And so it's funny how the beginning of this episode, they were literally in a sex store. And then towards the end of the episode, they were at Bible study. Andrea makes Lamar go to her Mormon scripture study with her.
Okay.
Against his will, because he doesn't want to. Even though he told her while he was in prison, which was years ago, that when he got out of prison, he would go to Bible study with her, he didn't want to do it today. And he's made it very clear to her, I don't want to be Mormon. You're not going to convert me. You can't just make me become this person you want me to be. But I kind of see it from both sides because when he was in jail, he was telling her everything she wanted to hear, saying, I'm going to, convert. I'm going to go to scripture study. I'm going to do this. And now he's out and he's getting upset with her that she wants him to convert to this lifestyle. So I get that she's annoyed because you made me a promise that you were going to do this. But I see it from Lamar's side to where, you can't just make me be something that I don't believe in. And he said his main reason for not wanting to be Mormon is he feels like Mormon wasn't meant for black people because he found out that black people weren't even allowed to be in the religion of being a Mormon until 1978. They were literally banned.
That is, I actually did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I have heard Mormonism is a little strange when it comes to that.
Yeah, so when I heard that, I was like, okay, that kind of changes things up. It's already not, black folks be Baptists, we got some Catholics. We're mostly in the, the Christian side. And Mormon, we don't really see that in our community. So for him to bring that up, I was like, okay, well, I kind of understand. That's already not something that you see a lot in our culture, and then you find out that bit of history. In addition to you just don't want to do it. It's just not your lifestyle. And then he started getting offended because Andrea's friends kept implying that he wasn't spiritual because he didn't want to become Mormon. And I understand getting frustrated, because just because don't want to be Mormon doesn't mean you're not spiritual.
Absolutely. Just because you don't follow the religion that somebody wants you to doesn't mean you don't follow religion.
Bingo. So now they're in a place, and Lamar ended up getting really upset, and I think in turn Andrea got upset. Now, this is a sticky situation. I think religion is probably a big factor in marriages with, trying to figure out who's going to convert to what when you're two different religions and what the kids are going to do.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big cause of contention in a lot of marriages. So they're already in a sticky situation. He's sleeping on the couch, and now they're battling over, this thing with their religion. So how do you think they should handle it, Vito?
I mean, it's always been a weird situation for me, like thinking about the formal religion aspect of marriage, because I feel like a lot of people don't have a really firm grasp on formal religion anyway in their marriages with divorces and stuff like this. So for this, honestly, I think they should just have their individual practices, and I mean, personally, I think no matter what, it's like, if you want to convert, you can. If you don't want to convert, you don't have to. If you want to keep your religion, do it. If you don't want to keep your religion, don't do it.
Right.
And in this case, I think he brings up a very good point, specifically about the fact that Mormonism for a long time, I mean, Christianity and everything like that has obviously their backgrounds, but didn't even accept black people into their religion
until 1978,
exactly.
which isn't even
and
that long ago.
That's so little time ago. So I don't personally blame him. I just don't think I don't think it should be an issue that they need to discuss if they feel personally so indebted to themselves with their own spirituality and the religion. If it's not going to be something that you really are worried about anyway, the only reason for it to come up is an argument.
Right. And Andrea, it's not like you some good and faithful Mormon, and I mean, I know God forgives you, but at the same time, we just found out that you had sex in a prison closet when Mormons aren't supposed to have sex before marriage, and y'all weren't married.
Would Jesus say that having sex in a closet was a sin?
I mean, she wasn't supposed to have sex before marriage.
That's very true.
So, and she made a big deal about it in season 1. She was like, "Oh, I can't have sex with him because we're not married and I'm Mormon." And then it comes out that they were having sex anyway.
Oh, geez.
So it's
I mean, that's the picky and choosy parts of religion that I find kind of way. It's look, you can practice religion, but admit to when you don't practice parts of the religion.
Right.
Admit, understand your own spirituality and how it fits with you, and don't expect other people to want to take it seriously if you're not taking it seriously, I guess.
Bingo.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think a big thing that for them, and we talked about this the last time we hosted together, Vito, is that they don't want to compromise. They don't want to compromise where they live. He wants to be in LA. She wants to be in Utah.
Which
Nobody wants to budge.
Always the issue.
Right. And now they're having an issue where one wants to be Mormon and one doesn't, and nobody wants to budge. They're going to have to find some sort of middle ground in both of those situations.
Maybe they just shouldn't be together.
Or maybe they shouldn't be together.
Maybe they shouldn't even try
but
because
I love them. I really think they can work it out. I think as far as locations, as I mentioned, if they don't want to live in Utah or LA, move to a different state. Or, if you want him to budge on the Mormon stuff, you budge on the city stuff, and vice versa. I think, in a marriage, you're going to have to compromise.
There needs to be compromise.
Yes.
Or else it's not going to work.
Exactly. So
how can you expect anything to work if you don't even give it the chance to?
Right, exactly.
Infuriating.
I know, but I love them so much. They're one of my favorite couples on the show. Their relationships feel so real, and these people are really crazy.
Yeah.
So compared to everybody else, they have stuff that can really be worked through, I feel, if they want to put in the effort to work through it.
I hope that they do then, honestly. I really hope that they can. It's just, it sounds to me as though it's very much a situation where there's going to have to be a lot of change and a lot of growth from both of them in order for something sustainable to be there. I don't understand why they're talking about moving in together if that's an issue in the first, I don't know. There's a lot that needs therapy there.
Yeah, maybe we should bring in a therapist. That's what they need on this show.
Yeah.
We just watching all these people spaz out of control and lose their minds. Can we get a resident therapist, to come in on every other episode?
Looking at you, WeTV.
WeTV. You better get one of them marriage boot camp therapists.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really do cover all bases. I can think of a show for every situation with them.
Absolutely.
Shout out to WeTV.
Shout out to WeTV.
All right, let's talk about Clint and Tracie.
Yeah, let's talk about Clint and Tracie.
So Tracie was in jail for meth possession. We know she's a recovering addict. Clint's parents are over her. They do not want him with her. They do not want him to bail her out. But he tells his mom, I'm going to do it anyway. And she literally almost has a breakdown. Like, I thought she was going to, like, fall out and just cry.
I mean, it's kind of sad. Like, I don't blame her to an extent. But also, like, I don't really blame him for wanting to get her out.
Right.
Because, like, obviously his mom can't empathize as much as he can with her, because obviously it's a situation where it's like, look, I've had the issue before too. You obviously have had this happen to you before. Like, this is terrible. I can't imagine the conversations that they probably have that involve like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to have an addiction and then be put in jail because of that addiction. Like, that's the type, like, I mean, that's kind of the cyclical thing that the American jail system constantly thrives off of. The fact that people who are addicted to drugs kind of stay in the jail system. And like, I can't imagine the kind of stuff that they're both going through, just having that empathy for each other, of being like, we are both struggling, we both are constantly relapsing, and we're both coming in and out of the jail system. Like, it sucks.
Well, when you put it like that,
it sucks. It's so sad. Like, I feel so bad for these people to an extent.
I was about to be like, at least they're there for each other, but when you put it like that, it's like, well, maybe they shouldn't be there for each other.
But it's like, I don't know, man. I to some extent, again, I get it, because it's like, who else is gonna understand you? But like, also it leads to like, oh, like, we both do it. So do you want to do it? I don't know. I don't know what that is, but
it's like they're good for each other in the sense that they don't really have anybody else.
Absolutely.
All they have is each other. But at the same time, they're enabling each other to do things that they shouldn't be doing.
Absolutely. Doing things that are extremely unhealthy. But there's not a good system to get that out of that. Like, how else are they going to get out of literally a physical addiction? Like, that is something that you could have your entire life and never be able to really solve. And I just feel bad for them. But also, they make stupid decisions, but also I feel bad for them.
I mean, addiction is a hard thing to come out of, you know, especially she was on crack and meth. Like, what? Like, you know, just putting her back in jail and throwing her back out again and her not getting any real help. She's never gonna, you know, get him to a better place.
100%. I agree.
So, you know, eventually he bails her out, and she was like, I really want to get help. And I love that she admitted, I want to fix this. I don't want to be this person anymore. So they decide, that she's going to go to rehab. And I actually just, I guess not announced, but talked about on our News Daily on Thursday that she recently just got out of rehab. So she went to rehab around September-ish, and she got left early and then ended up going back. But she actually got out for good this past, like, a couple days ago. But we haven't seen any sign of Clint. So I'm wondering, you know, did they break up while she was in rehab, or are they just kind of staying away from each other now for their own good? Like, I don't know, but either way, she went to rehab and she's out again, so hopefully, you know, she gets better. Yeah,
I hope so too. And I mean, like, hey, if maybe she even realized, like, this relationship is not helping me sustain, like, a healthy lifestyle. So, like, maybe she's looking out for herself. I'm not gonna hold my breath to that, but I'm really hoping that it's the case that she also kind of sees, like, I need to do this. And if I don't do this, then it's gonna keep happening and I'm gonna keep failing for it.
It's scarier for her because, you know, at least Clint, he has his parents who are crazy about him, who love him. But Tracie literally only has Clint. She has nobody else. She even said on the episode today, she was like, if you didn't bail me out, I would have nobody. I would just be on my own. So, sticky situation, but we know that she's getting help, and hopefully that help has helped. But she also, you know, is waiting to go to court and could possibly do up to 20 years. So maybe her going to rehab will help that time, but we'll just have to keep watching and see.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about Marcelino and Britney. We didn't get too much from them, but we did see that basically Britney has been trying to right a lot of wrongs this season. She's working on this relationship with her mother. She's kind of turning things around in her own life. And now she wants to find her kids. So when she was a teenager, she had 2 kids, but she was a homeless, like, 16-year-old with 2 kids, and the court ended up taking her kids away. Her rights were terminated, and she hasn't seen her kids since. They've been adopted and put in different families, and now she wants to try to find her kids. And I'm kind of feeling a little weird about it because, one, I get wanting to see your kids. Like, you have kids out there that you don't even know. And now she has 2 younger kids and she's actually in their lives. And she probably feels guilty, like, oh, I'm in these kids' lives, but I don't have any relationship with my older kids. And her kids are only 13 and 11. So that's that age where you're really starting to try to put things together on your own.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is it good to kind of reopen those wounds for them, or could you try to just leave them where they are if they're in a better situation?
I think I can't remember who I talked with it about, but I think it was Brianna last time we were on here. That it was just me and her. But like for me, the idea of like having your kids put up for adoption and then coming back and like trying to get into their lives, it's good. I hope that she's able to, but she just has to make sure to not go in there with any expectations of them like being immediately like, Mom, it's so good to see you, because it's like you were dealing with a lot on your own. You couldn't take care of them.
Right.
They're being taken care of. They probably don't even really know you as their parent.
Right.
And I think like it can be a good thing, but she just has to go in with the right mindset of, this is something I have to work on. This isn't something that's going to automatically be better for me.
And her situation's a little different because she didn't give up her kids for adoption. Her kids were taken away from her. So the attorney was basically telling her, we don't even know if you'd be able to find them, but because your rights were terminated, we can't even get the rights for you to find out where they are.
Oh, man, that's so sad.
Yeah, so now she's in a place where she doesn't even know if she can even find them, period. And then you have Marcelino, who he's such a protector of Britney, which is good, but at the same time, sometimes in protecting her, I feel like he tries to keep her away from things that could help her. Yeah. Like at first, he was really hesitant about her getting to rekindle her relationship with her mom because he was like, well, I don't trust your mom because of what she did to you as a kid. Fair, but also, you got to get past things. Yeah. And it's the same way with this. He's kind of like, maybe we shouldn't do this when it comes to her finding her kids. So I just hope that Marcelino isn't so protective that he, is keeping her away from doing things that can benefit her in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, like, being protective can only go so far, because at the end of the day, like, if you're just keeping things from changing, it feels safer, but sometimes safer is not always better in these kind of situations. You need to let her go out and try to be able to better herself and to feel these kind of repercussions of what she's done. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like that's exactly what is happening. She's feeling the repercussions of all that she's kind of done on her own, and you can't protect her from that happening. Yeah. She's going to have to face, like, maybe I can't find my kids. Maybe this is actually what happened. But it's so complex at the end of the day of like talking about like if she's like in a good enough place to even talk to her kids in the first place, like going to find them, like, I don't know, like I don't think justice is the necessary thing here. It's not about like, oh, she deserves to not see her kids. It's like, of course she wants to see her kids. It's just like, is it the best for them? Is it the best for her?
Exactly.
Like, will she ever be in a state of being where it is good for her to see her kids? Because right now it could just remind her of like a time when she couldn't take care of her kids. Like, I don't know. And he's probably like trying to like be like the man in this situation, but I don't think it's going to help, because it's something that she really neither of them really understand the complexities of it, I don't think. And they're both just trying to like make the best of the situation that they can. And I just think they need to kind of like give it more time, get in a better head place, get in a space where you can actually exist and like know that you're on your 2 feet before. But maybe it's too late too. I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking of things being too late, we're going to talk about Michael and Sara. So Michael is a terrible father. I'm just going to put it out there. He can walk around with his daughters on his hoodie all he wants to, but he don't call his kids and he don't go see his kids.
That's so
and
sad.
The only reason on this episode that he went to go see his kids is because Sara threatened to cut his phone off because he be talking to other girls on the phone and she still pays for him like an idiot.
Fake.
So she finally comes to see his daughters after being guilt-tripped by Sara, and literally the sight of him sends his daughter into a breakdown. Like, she screams and runs to her mom. She's crying. She doesn't want to go near him. She does not want to be around him.
Of course not. Why would you want to be?
Because it broke Sarah's heart, because it's like you want him to be in her life, but at the same time, look what happens when he comes around.
Absolutely.
Because he wants to hop in and out of her life, and she doesn't know how to feel when he comes back in.
Yeah.
So, and he's all confused. Why doesn't she want to hang and come up and hug me? We used to always be so close. Well, maybe because you haven't talked to her in months.
Yeah, maybe it's because you haven't been like a father, and you can't expect somebody to treat you like a father if you haven't been a father.
Boop, there it is. She calls you every day, you don't answer, and all of a sudden you want to just pop up. But eventually she warms up to him, and she tells her mom, and it broke my heart. She said, Mom, I think I'm getting used to him again. And it's like, no, like, yeah, I'm glad that you're comfortable around your dad again, but don't get used to him, because who knows when he's going to come to see you again.
Yeah.
And it's such a sad place to be in, and I hate that he does that to his daughters, because now she's at the age where she knows who he is. And, she can actually be disappointed by him not being there. So, the younger baby, she don't know what's going on. She's a baby, but this baby knows my dad is not there. And she's starting to ask questions like, does he not want me? It's really tough.
Yeah.
And in all that, this stupid idiot is like, well, let me take the kids back to the hotel with me. What?
Yeah.
The daughter didn't even want to be around you. She had a breakdown with the thought of seeing you, and now you're trying to be like, oh, Sarah don't want me to take the kids with me. No. Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
So he did not deserve to have the kids taken with him.
No, I agree.
In any way possible. Sarah asked, are you with somebody in the hotel? He's not with somebody in the hotel. But what gets me is, why does that matter? Like, her focus is so wrong. What you should be focused on is the fact that this man is not in his daughter's lives.
Yeah.
And he doesn't deserve to have them to himself, because he hasn't earned that trust to have the kids with him without you being there.
Absolutely.
But instead of that being her concern, she's upset because he has another girl with him.
Absolutely.
Sarah, priority, sis. He doesn't want to be with you. Y'all aren't together anymore. He's gonna talk to other females. That's just your life right now. Stop focusing on who he's dating and make him be a father.
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately something that makes me so sad about this series, is like seeing these people who have been kind of wrapped up into parenthood when they are, 1, super not ready, 2, super don't know what they're doing, and 3, don't understand the effects of what they're doing has on their kids.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of scared of like WeTV capitalizing off of the trauma that these kids are facing. But it's like, at the same time, you are a parent.
Yeah.
You have kids now. You can't just be messing around with people. You gotta find some way to support these kids.
Yeah.
Because they are alive and they are your fault.
Yeah. You put them here.
You put them here. Take responsibility.
Yeah.
But also, I get it. It's hard. Obviously, some of these people did not think that they were going to be parents, or did not know what they were getting into when they were becoming parents.
Yeah.
So, like, to see something like this, it's like, this dude probably just doesn't know.
Yeah.
This dude just probably doesn't know, and neither does she. She probably, she is more focused on the drama surrounding her love life with this man who is the father of her children.
And her
than
husband
she is.
still, technically.
Yeah, but
on
like
paper.
more than her children.
Yeah.
Who need them.
Yeah.
They can't live without you.
Yeah, Sarah, please stop worrying about who Michael is
Please.
sleeping with. Cut off that cell phone and take him to court.
Absolutely.
Because he needs to pay some child support, and he needs to be in their life, and it does not matter if he's talking to you. It does not matter if he's dating Maria or whoever else. And poor little Maria just sitting in the hotel while he off being stupid.
Yeah.
She probably thinks he's a great father with his little stupid daughters on my hoodie. Okay, anyway.
What is she getting out of? What is she getting out of him?
Nothing.
He's not going to be anything for you.
Just another stupid girl on his list. And men know when they can get a girl with no backbone and can just do whatever, just take whatever.
Sucks.
Speaking of girls with no backbone who gonna do whatever, we didn't get too much from Megan, but Megan really made me do a really nice belly laugh and chuckle when she said to her friend today, she was like, I know Michael's talking to other girls, but I don't think it's romantic. So y'all, what you think? What do you think they're talking about, Megan? They're talking about Trump. They're talking about the TV show. They just strictly platonic. What does he need to be talking to these other girls for? And all of this stupid stuff that he's doing, she's still, well, I'm the favorite. I'm the one he really loves. What?
Keep telling yourself that.
And Michael is nowhere near a catch for any of these girls to be doing this with him. I am confusion. I just can't.
I am confusion.
I just can't. Real quickly, let's talk about Angela and Tony. So Angela goes out with her girlfriends, and really she's only doing it to make Tony jealous, but Tony don't give a damn. He makes it very clear. Tony just needs somewhere to live, and he's back in the house. And so her friend is like, well, you should stay out all night like he does to make him jealous so he knows how to feel. So she calls him, and she's like, I'm going to spend the night at such and such's house. And once again, he makes it clear that he doesn't care. He's like, okay, do whatever. But the whole time that she's claiming that she's out with her friends, she is spying on him from outside of the house. Angela, let it go. If you have to write down rules like no prostitutes and no drugs and no cheating, if you have to spy on him outside of your own house, throw the relationship away. This man needs you. You don't need him. He needs a place to live, and that's all that this relationship is, sis.
He's playing you for a fool.
Let it go.
Playing you for a fool.
Like, why? At this point, I think she likes the drama.
Probably.
I think she, wants him to mess up so she can just scream at him and give him a bunch of rules at this point.
Immediate pain reliever is still pain reliever to some extent.
Oh my gosh, she is ridiculous. Okay, all right, real quickly, really quick, we're going to do news and gossip because it's juicy. Okay, so in this episode, Britney and Marcelino, I mentioned, they went to go see about getting her kids back, and then Marcelino was saying how he was concerned that he didn't know how he was going to pay all these legal bills. They're already paying legal bills to get custody of one of her other kids, and now they're going to have to pay all this money to try to find her kids. And he said that he didn't know if he was going to be able to do it. Well, now it's coming back to them because her attorneys are actually not suing her, but they're coming after her because she hasn't been paying her legal fees. They put out a attorney. It's called a attorney's lying, and basically, that they're filing a claim saying that she hasn't been paying the fees for what she's been owed.
Well, that should get fixed real quick, I would hope.
Yeah, and they owe $22,148.75. Where did the 75 cents come from?
That's so much.
Someone on a blog said that they think that they make $60,000 a season. This is their third season. So that's pretty much, yeah.
60? Wait, what do you mean they make $60,000?
Well, now they're making $60,000. So basically, when they first started, they were getting paid $3,000 per episode, and then it went up because now they're in a new season. So they're making roughly a little under $6,000 per episode. There's about 10 episodes in each season, so about $60,000 before taxes and all that stuff.
Dude, I guess they would do whatever the producers tell them to for that money. Damn.
Why not keep up the shenanigans, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it seems like, they're not using the portion of that money they're getting to, pay their legal fees. But hopefully
or help
they
their
work
kids,
it out. Yeah. Yep. All right. Vito, how we looking? We got time for a special segment?
We do not have time for a special segment, Alexis. We got to wrap up.
Well, let's wrap it on up then. I think we got through all the really, really fun stuff.
Yeah, I think we did too. So, Alexis, where can they find you on social media?
All right, guys. You guys can find me on social media at I am Lexi Fierce, IamLexifierce. And you guys can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. It's called Talking TV with Lex. I talk a lot of TV, and my name is Lex. Where can they find you, Vito?
Guys, if you're interested in following me on anywhere, it's at VScuddy. That's at VSCUTTI on Twitter and Instagram mostly.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Vito, for joining me. We will see you.
Glad to be here.
Yes, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.